Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Gonna be giving you my starting 11 prediction for our game against Sheffield United on Thursday night. So I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is gonna go with the 4-3-3 formation. So I think we're gonna go with David De Gea in goal. It may not be David De Gea, it could be Dean Henderson starting in goal. If Dean Henderson starts in goal, he will be reuniting with Sheffield United. Because don't forget, he did endure 2 successful loans with Sheffield United. He's obviously had other loan spells before with Stockport, Grimsby and Shrewsbury. We got Dean Henderson at the age of 14, so he has been part of the club for several years. And during the summer transfer window, he signed a 6-year contract with Man United worth 120 grand a week. And the other week, he made his full debut in the Premier League. And at some point, he will become our number one. There's a lot of Man United fans saying that he should be our number one now. This is now the right time. But yeah, I think we'll go with David De Gea against Sheffield United. David De Gea has made mistakes in the last couple of years. Obviously, he was the culprit for the 3rd goal against RB Leipzig. But he still enjoyed some good games this season, and this is David De Gea's 10th season at the club, so he has been a long servant. He's made over 500 appearances for Man United in all competitions. Now, I think at right back, we are going to go with Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka weren't brilliant against Man City. Obviously, he was caught out by Gabriel Jesus and Raheem Sterling. He's been exposed quite a few times. I think Wan-Bissaka's worst game in a Man United shirt was the game against RB Leipzig the other week. Because he was in Angelino's pocket. But to Bissaka's credit, he's enjoyed some good games this season where he's got in decent positions, he's put good crosses into the box, and he has showed some good attacking intent, and defensively he's been good. But we do have his reservations about him, with his lack of attacking intent and his distribution. This is his 2nd season at Manchester United. We got him in a deal worth £50 million from Crystal Palace in the summer of 2019. Now, I think the 2 centre-halves will be Harry Maguire and Victor Lindelof. Obviously, they are our first choice centre-halves. Now, Victor Lindelof, he has enjoyed some good games this season, but he's also enjoyed quite a lot of bad games as a Man United player. I've got reservations about him, he is too slow, and at times he does get far too exposed, and he does make mistakes. Victor Lindelof's enjoyed a good 3 years or so at Man United. We got him in a deal worth £31 million from Benfica back in 2017. And as for Harry Maguire, he's enjoyed some good games this season where he has been effective in the air. He's showed that ability to play out from the back. But he's also enjoyed bad games, where he's looked far too exposed, he's made mistakes. And my reservation about him as well, he's static, is Harry Maguire. And he certainly wasn't worth the £80 million that we got him for from Leicester in the summer of 2019. He is the most expensive centre-half in the world at the moment, Harry Maguire. And he's our current captain. Now, at left back, I think we're going to go with Alex Telles. Alex Telles obviously didn't start against Manchester City recently, went with Luke Shaw instead. Luke Shaw could start, instead of Alex Telles. He could start both of them if he reverts to 3 at the back. But I think it will be Alex Telles. Telles, I think, has enjoyed a fantastic start to his Manchester United career. He was very, very poor though against RB Leipzig. That was his first poor game as a Man United player. But prior to that, he has done well. We got him in a deal worth 15.4 million. But to Luke Shaw's credit, he did very, very well against Man City. His deliveries from corners and that were good, and he showed some good attacking intent, and defensively did well because for the vast majority of the game, he kept City's winners quiet. Luke Shaw's just recently come back from a hamstring problem. But yeah, I think we'll go with Alex Telles. Now, the midfield, I think we're going to go with Fred, Donny van de Beek and Paul Pogba. Now, Fred did play against Man City. I thought he was quite good against Man City, to be honest with you. Missed the last 2 games prior to the City game though, didn't he? Did Fred, because obviously he missed the game against RB Leipzig because he was suspended, because he got sent off in our 3-1 defeat to PSG because he received 2 yellow cards, and he didn't play in the game against West Ham the other week because Solskjaer confirmed that he did want to rest him for the game against Man City. I think Fred has enjoyed good games this season. You know, we paid £47 million for him from Shakhtar Donetsk a few years ago. Fred's under contract with us until 2023. But when Fred plays well, he can dictate the play well, he can pass the ball well, he can break up the play, he can show some good attacking intent. So, yeah. He's enjoyed some poor games as well, though, this season. Donny van de Beek, he didn't play against Manchester City. I don't know why. Van de Beek didn't start against RB Leipzig, but he did come on. And did okay when he came on, I suppose. Obviously started against West Ham the other week. That was his second start in the Premier League. And he made his full Premier League debut in the 3-2 win against Southampton. You know, we have been recently playing Donny van de Beek in a deeper role. That's actually where he's more effective, but he can play in like 3 different roles. You know, we paid £40 million for him from Ajax. And earlier on this season, Donny van de Beek denied that he was unhappy at Man United. He said he was willing to be patient for his opportunities. And Paul Pogba, yes, I do think he will start this game against Sheffield. To Paul Pogba's credit, he's done well recently. He weren't so bad in the Manchester derby. You know, he started the game against Man City. I thought he made an impact against RB Leipzig. You know, got his name on the score sheet. And he also did well against West Ham the other week. You know, scored for Manchester United. He was an exceptional goal as well. That was his first start in the Premier League for Man United for over a month in the game against West Ham. Paul Pogba did have an ankle injury. But Ollie confirmed that ankle injury was totally contrast to the one that he had last season. Now, Pogba's agent, Mini Raiola, has been talking a lot recently. He recently gave a fresh statement out on Paul Pogba's future at Man United. And he said that it's very unlikely he'll leave in January. But Mini Raiola said it's likely he will leave next summer. Mini Raiola told to us Sport the other week that Paul Pogba's career at Manchester United is over. He's got no intentions of signing a new contract and he is unhappy. And he says that he has to leave. Like I've said, I think there is a good chance that Paul Pogba will go back to Juventus. Mini Raiola said he's a good chance he could go back to Juventus. He did endure 4 good years with Juventus, but the vast majority of his performances at Man United have been totally comparison. Now, we could get one of their players as part of the deal. Like I said, we could get Cristiano Ronaldo, we could get Dybala, or maybe we could even get Matthias de Ligt. He said that Juventus were looking to get him on loan. Real Madrid have been in for him before. He made an admission earlier on this season saying that one day his dream is to join Real Madrid. PSG, Barcelona and Milan have also been in for him. Paul Pogba recently said though that he's always fought and he will always fight for Manchester United, for my teammates and the fans, and he said he's 1000% involved in Man United's project. We recently lowered our asking price for Pogba. He said we will accept as low as £50 million. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer revealed prior to the City game that he'd had conversations with him. You know, he's our most expensive signing at the moment because we paid £89 million for him. And this is his 5th season at Manchester United since it rejoined. So yeah, so I think that'll be them in the midfield. Obviously, there's other options in midfield as well. You know, obviously, Matic is an option. You know, McTominay is an option. Bruno Fernandes is one, but I don't think any of them will start this game, Matic, McTominay or Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes needs a rest anyway, doesn't he? Because he has been playing far too much. Bruno Fernandes is definitely our best player. And he's the best signing we have made since Alex Ferguson's retirement. Fernandes has been at Manchester United now for almost a year. He won Player of the Month for November, reflecting on his good performances. He's won Player of the Month now quite a few times. He has scored a lot of goals for us. You know, a lot of his goals have come from the penalty spot. He's also provided assists. And I think he has created more chances than any other player in the Premier League this season. We paid £47 million for him from Sporting Lisbon back in January. But disregarding Bruno Fernandes, I think we'd be in a worse position than we are already in. Now, I think the front three will be Anthony Martial, Marcus Rashford and Edison Cavani. Now, Anthony Martial, he's just come back from a groin problem not so long ago. Martial, though, has been out of form this season because he hasn't been clinical enough. This season, he's failed to replicate what he did last season because last season he was very, very good. He scored 23 goals in 48 games. He was also very good in his debut season under Louis van Gaal, was Anthony Martial. We got Martial at the age of 19, he's now, 24. He's endured a good 5 years or so now at Man United. When we have been playing him recently, we have been putting him out wide. Solskjaer gave him number 9 shirt. You know, a lot last season, Martial was playing centrally. Don't forget, earlier on this season, he did have a 3-match suspension in the Premier League because he got sent off in our 6-1 defeat to Tottenham. As for Marcus Rashford, I think he's one of our best players. Aspects of his game have improved, and I think he's improved in general under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. He has enjoyed a couple of poor games this season. I don't think he was brilliant against Man City. You know, he wasn't brilliant against West Brom either, but in the game against West Brom, he wasn't fully fit because he did have that shoulder problem. You know, Marcus Rashford has been part of the club for several years. So I think he will start on that right wing. We've played him on that right wing, is it once or twice this season, but he seldom plays there. Most of the time he either plays on the left-hand side or he plays centrally. But I think he's more effective out wide anyway, Marcus Rashford. And Edison Cavani, he'll start if he's obviously available. We don't know if he's going to be. He should be though, Edison Cavani now. He's recently been out of a muscle problem. I think he's enjoyed a fantastic start to his Manchester United career. Like I said, Cavani came off the bench the other week against Southampton and scored twice and got an assist. Changed the complexion of that game. He scored his first goal for the club in our 3-1 win against Everton. And he also he also almost scored on his Premier League debut against Chelsea, with his first touch. I said when we got Edinson Cavani, he will be the next Zlatan Ibrahimovic. So that's how I think Manchester United could line up against Sheffield United. Now, we should be winning this game against Sheffield United because Sheffield United are a very, very poor team. They have failed to win any of their last 7 league games at Bramall Lane. And they are sitting bottom of the league right now. They haven't even won a game yet in the league this season. They've registered just 1 point from their opening 12 games. So I think Sheffield United are going to get relegated this season. Now, the game at Bramall Lane last season was 3-3, don't forget. We overcame a 2-goal deficit. But we did beat them at Old Trafford by 3-0. Obviously, Anthony Martial had scored a hat-trick. I've been surprised at Sheffield United, though. I thought they'd done much better than they have been doing this season. Because actually, Sheffield United last season were pretty good, weren't they? Didn't they finish 8th or 9th last season? And I said last season, Chris Wilder deserved a lot of credit. Obviously, didn't he get Sheffield United from League One to the Premier League? Wilder's been Sheffield United's manager since 2016. So he's enjoyed a good 4 years or so now with them. Probably will end up getting sacked. Before he was at Sheffield United, he was at Northampton, Oxford, Halifax and Alfred Town. Sheffield United, I think, have got a few players out for Thursday. Like I said on the preview, they've got Jack O'Connell out for the season. They've got Keane Bryan out. And I heard that Oliver McBurney is a doubt for Sheffield, and he's one of their key players. And I think Simon Moore's a doubt, but they're the only injuries they've got. He's just come back from injury for Sheffield United, as that Stevens, and so too as Ampadu. That's it. And Norwood, he's one of Sheffield United's key players, so too is Musset, so too is John Fleck. I think he's one of their key players. Didn't he score in the fixture at Bramall Lane last season? Billy Sharp, he's one of their attacking players. They've obviously got McGoldrick, he's one of their key players. They've got Lundstrom, they've got Jack Rodwell, they've got Phil Jagielka. They've got Brewster, they got him from Liverpool during the summer. They've also got that Burke, I think they got him from West Brom during the summer. So we beat Sheffield United on Thursday. That'll be 10 wins in a row away from home in the Premier League, because we have won our last 9 away games in a row in the Premier League. And we haven't lost away from home in the Premier League since January. So away from home we've been exceptional. So we've gone now almost a year without losing away from home in the Premier League, and that is a pretty impressive record. It's just at Old Trafford where we've been very, very poor. We've only won 1 game at Old Trafford in the Premier League this season. That was the 1-0 win against West Brom, and we was very fortunate to win that. Obviously, we've won 2 games at Old Trafford in all competitions because we beat RB Leipzig by 5-0. After Sheffield United, it's Leeds United. Like I said, that's gonna be a massive game on Sunday. The old rivalry's back between Man United and Leeds, but that won't be an easy game because, like I've said, Leeds have got a good manager in Marcelo Bielsa. Leeds' football is expansive. They have got some pretty good players as well. They've obviously got Rodrigo. Some people think he hasn't really made an impact though at Leeds. They've obviously got Diego Llorente. I think he's out for the game on Sunday because he's injured. They've obviously got Bamford, one of their key players, probably one of their best players. They've got Alioski. They've got Rafinha. I think they got him during the summer. They've obviously got Robin Koch. Robin Koch isn't available for Sunday. He's out until January with injury. Leeds have obviously got Berardi out with injury. Adam Forshaw, he's out with injury. Berardi, yeah. And I think that's about it. Obviously, Calvin Phillips, he came back for Leeds not so long ago, so he should be playing on Sunday. They've obviously got that Click, who's made an impact at Leeds. Stuart Dallas, he's quite good for Leeds as well. So I am really, really looking forward to it. It's going to be the first Premier League meeting between us and Leeds since 2004. Which is over 16 years ago now. Leeds got relegated though in 2004, so they was out of the top flight for a good 16 years or so. But Leeds won the Championship last season. That was their first trophy in 28 years. The last time we played Leeds was the summer of 2019 in pre-season, beating them 4-0 in Australia. We played them back in 2011 in the League Cup, beat them 3-0, and played them back in 2010, they beat us 1-0. After Leeds, obviously we've got Everton in the Carabao Cup. That'll be a hard game. We've got Leicester. So games are coming up thick and fast for Manchester United, aren't there? But like I've said to you, I don't think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is the long-term manager for Manchester United. He's not the right man to lead the club to long-term success. He did say a few weeks ago that was his priority, to guide the club to long-term success. But I just think that Ole is way out of his depth at the club, like I've said so many times recently. His decision-making's poor. It concerns me a lot because he's made a lot of mistakes in games. And I just don't think he's got that proven pedigree as a manager as Ole. Man United is the third club in his managerial career. Obviously, before he came, he was at Molde. And before he was at Molde, he was at Cardiff. Solskjaer has been Manchester United manager now for 2 years. It's nearly now his 2-year anniversary. We appointed him in December 2018, and he's been permanent Man United manager since March 2019. We give him the job permanently, reflects on what he did in that 3-month period when he was the interim manager. Ole's got a contract with Man United until 2022. And he's managed over 100 games for the football club in all competitions. But yeah, this is his second full season at the club. I said he's got to exceed his expectations this season if he is to remain Man United manager. And Solskjaer recently said Man United can win the Premier League this season. That certainly won't happen. I think there's a chance we could win a trophy this season. We could win the Carabao Cup or we could win the FA Cup. And I think we've got to get a top 4 finish and win a trophy this season if Solskjaer is to remain Manchester United manager. Now, I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will still be Man United manager in January. Could still be Man United manager at the end of this season. Obviously, there's a lot of Man United fans demanding Ole out, but there's some that are saying, give him till the rest of this season and see, what happens. Because to be honest with you, it wouldn't really solve a lot if we sacked Ole anyway, because not all of the blame stems from him. Reflecting on our inconsistency, obviously, there's certain players that have got to take responsibility, because there is still players at Man United that are not good enough to represent Man United. Obviously, one of the biggest problems has been the board. They've been a problem for a good 6-7 years now of the board. Reflecting now how poor our recruitment policy's been. We've obviously overpaid for players. And the board have obviously backed on the managers that we've had since Ferguson left. And certainly during the summer transfer window, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wasn't backed enough. You know, Ed Woodward has come out, you know, several times to support Solskjaer. And he says he still remains fully behind Ole, even though we did enjoy a poor start to the season, even though we're no longer in the Champions League. And I think, like I said, Solskjaer does deserve more backing at the club. Now, hopefully in January, Ole can bring the right players in. I think he's got a great idea of what players he's going to get rid of. Like I said to you earlier on, Man United are prioritising 2 positions for January. Because obviously, we want a centre-half and we do want a right winger. You know, there has been a lot of players on our agenda. You know, likes of Sancho has been on our agenda. We're going to go in for Sancho next year. We're no longer in now for Diet Upamecano, according to recent reports. I think we could go in for Ireland next year. Where we could also go in for Jack Grealish. Could even go in for Eduardo Camavinga in January. Usman Dembele. You know, there has been a lot of players on our agenda. I'm hopeful we can make a couple of signings in January at least. We're going to get rid of a few players as well next year. Now, obviously, there has been a lot of talks of Mauricio Pochettino coming in to replace Solskjaer. You know, he's been the favourite to take over at Man United, and it did recently say that Mauricio Pochettino would take charge of Man United if the job was offered to him. Pochettino was the favourite to take over at Man United after Mourinho got sacked, but we decided to go with Solskjaer instead because we saw it as that, you know, Solskjaer knows the club well. You know, Pochettino doesn't know a lot, you know, whatever about the club. But I think Pochettino is a better manager than Solskjaer, like I've said to you. Not only he's been on our agenda though, you know, Nagelsmann a few weeks ago was on our agenda, so too was Massimiliano Allegri, and, you know, reports recently said from Germany we could make a move for, you know, Thomas Tuchel if we sack Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in the next few weeks. So there you go. Don't forget though, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer still has quite a few things to do at Man United, like I've said to you. I said he's got to improve his decision making, he's got to improve our performances. He's got to identify his best 11 because I don't think he knows his best 11. And he's also got to select the right formation. But Ole is inheriting a squad that is worth £800 million. You know, he's inheriting a lot of Jose Mourinho's players because actually the vast majority of this team is Jose Mourinho's. Still a few players here from the Van Gaal era, only one player here now from the Moyes era, and there's only 2 players here now from the Sir Alex Ferguson era. You know, for us to be title contenders, I think we need to make at least 3 or 4 more signings. You know, we haven't won the Premier League since 2013. We certainly won't win it this season. It's gonna take a long rebuilding process for us to be, you know, winning the title and that. So anyway guys, that's everything to update with today. Drop me comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.